Hey guys, Adrian here for the Digital Dojos as I knocked the camera there. Anyways, today I wanted to give you guys some initial tips for your iPhone 4S, your iPhone 4, iPod Touch 4th generation. If this is more, I guess some of these are related to the iPhone only, but saving battery life on iOS 5.0. A lot of people have noticed, and Apple has even admitted to battery issues being prominent on the iOS 5 platform, and most noticeable in the iPhone 4S. I myself had this issue. I did a couple things that really helped out because I was having issues where my battery wouldn't even last a day, or nearly at the end of the day, or not even at the end of the day, but halfway through the day. So I leave my phone charging overnight. I pick it up around 7 a.m. when I go to school, and then I undock it and I take it to school, all of that. And then after school, when I get home around, I'd say around probably 5 o'clock my time, it's already nearly down to 10%. And there you go, knocking the cord again. So here are some tips that you can do to saving some of that battery life. Some of the stuff obviously is the initial stuff, but first off, very common one that a lot of people take for granted is your brightness, as I have right now, not only for this video so that the webcam can detect it. If you have auto brightness on, I would recommend turning that off and then just lowering it to about normal settings, because if you ever need to higher it, you can easily just go back into settings and raise it. But for the most part, you can always see your screen even if it's dim lit. I mean, unless you're in a situation like you're outside in the sun, then you need to turn up the brightness. Then go ahead and do so. But brightness tends to help out a lot in terms of saving battery life. Now, another thing, if you're not using anything like Wi-Fi, turn it off. If you're not going to be using your 3G, if you have a phone and not if you're on an iPod, turn the Wi-Fi off. If you're on the phone and you're not going to be using data or anything like that, go ahead and go into airplane mode, because that'll save tons of battery life. Like if you're just needing it as an iPod and you really want the battery to stay critical, then go ahead and go to airplane mode. That'll obviously save you a lot of life. Another thing, notifications. You have some things here you can set up for notifications, but you can also turn off other stuff. And if you have stuff like Quake alerts, that can actually reduce your battery life, and it tells you there at the bottom, which is ironic because I turned this off, but there was actually an earthquake that happened today, so pretty crazy. But anyways, if you don't use notifications, turn that stuff off, because if you don't use notifications, then it won't be, for example, like reminders and stuff like that. Then it's constantly looking for all these applications to notify you about in Notification Center. So you can turn those off in there. Location services. Now this one's kind of important. Now sometimes I use this when I'm using Siri if I need to know something location based. But as of now, Siri's location services are only work in the United States. So let's say if it's on, you can see here it also can be used for other apps like Facebook, Maps, Reminders. And Reminders I do actually use it for sometimes. Reminders, Series, and Maps are really the ones I only use it for, and of course weather, to get my weather forecast. About the only time I really turn it off. Now if you scroll down more, so obviously turn off a lot of the ones that you're not using, Camera, Ocarina, apps like that, Twitter. If you don't want that location-based service on, go ahead and turn that off. Go down to the very bottom, go into System Services. Now, setting time zone and I believe location-based iAds, these take up tons and tons of battery life, especially setting time zone, because that's what they notice tends to be on a lot in diagnostics and usage. So I turn off these three. I mean, you can turn off the other ones if you want, but I tend to turn off these three. Setting time zones, for when you change time zones, it automatically will change depending on your location. Obviously, location-based iAds are exactly what they are, ads based on your location. Diagnostics and usage are diagnostics sent to Apple. So yeah, I turn those off, and in general I don't even use location services much. So again, if you don't use it at all, go ahead and turn it off, because it's going to save you tons of more battery life. Squeeze that extra juice. Now let's say you were on if you were on iPhone 4S like I am, Siri is something that can be taking battery life. And then you're going to get a text message asking if I'm awake. So oh, now I just got a bunch of notifications there. I'll respond to that later on. Anyways, go into general, go into Siri. And if you go down to Siri, raise to speak, it uses your sensor right here at the top. I know you guys can't totally see it, but your proximity sensor to see when you raise your phone to your ear if Siri needs to be activated or anything like that. Now, if you don't use that, what it does is it constantly keeps that proximity sensor looking for something, when the phone is raised to your ear. So turn that off if you just use Siri by holding the home button, which is what a lot of people do. In case you're in any other emergency situation, like on the phone or in the car or something. I don't know. But mostly if you turn raise to speak off, that's what really saved me tons of extra, like 10-20% extra battery life. So again, turn that off if you're not using that in terms of Siri. A lot of people have also sworn by in their iPod Touches. If you go into, I say, General, and go down to, where is it here? Reset, and reset network settings. A lot of people have sworn to that. It's helped out on iOS 5 for iPod Touch users. Obviously, this will reset your Wi-Fi password, so you have to type them in again. But if so, you can do that easily. Also, I mean, sometimes restoring the iPhone, people have claimed. I mean, that's a little bit going too far. They are working on iOS 5.1 beta is already out. They're working on fixing the issue. Some other stuff you can also do, last but not least, if you go into email is something else that I know used to have a lot of problems with push. If you go under your email and then go into your push notifications for your email account, so for example, if you go to your right here, fetch new data and push, I set mine to manually rather than every 15 or 30 minutes because this tends, you can see here, less you'll get less battery life because it's constantly checking every so often rather than when you just open mail if you set it to manual. Those tips alone, guys, will save you tons of things. But last but not least, I do want to mention multitasking. If you double click and hold, you can easily close a lot of apps that you're not using that are just running in the background. As you can see here, as I close all of this stuff here. So a lot of this stuff I don't need to be running in the background. And I used to have multitasking disabled previously on my old device, but that was jailbroken. So as of right now, if you want to disable that, you can just obviously close out of all the apps. Helps out a lot, guys. Anyways, guys, this is Adrian here for the Digital Dojos. More tips will be posted over at digitaldojos.com. So guys, don't forget to check out the website for more information, more technology videos, tips, etc. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. See you guys.